Gerund is a verb that functions as a noun, referring to an action, a process, or a state. Gerunds are verb forms ending in ing that name activities and are placed in the phrase in which a noun is used. For example, jogging is very good for you. Now we have the use of gerunds, the gerund form of verbs, as a subject of a sentence. When the gerund is a noun, it can be the subject of the action described of the verb. The structure is the next: subject in gerund plus verb plus complement. For example, smoking cigarettes is bad for you. Second, as a direct object. Gerund makes sense of how they are used in this case, and it comes with a stative or with an action verb. The structure is the subject plus the stative verb or action verb plus the object in gerunds plus the complement. An example could be, I love going to the movies. Third, as a subject complement. Is a noun that follows a linking verb. Linking verbs are forms of the verb to be, such as am, is, are, was, and were. The structure is subject plus verb to be plus verb in ing plus complement. For example, my brother's favorite activity is singing. As an object of preposition. A gerund can be paired with a prepositional phrase. The structure is subject plus preposition plus verb in ing plus the complement. For example, I'm good at playing volleyball. And the last, after certain expressions, is often used after the following verbs: admit, avoid, consider, delay, deny, detest, enjoy, etc. The structure is the subject plus a certain verb plus the verb in ing plus the complement. For example, Jack enjoys playing soccer with his friends.
Used to, be used to, get used to. Used to plus verb in infinitive. We use the structure when we talk about something we did regularity in the past but don't do it now. For example, he used to go to school. Be used to plus noun, pronoun, or gerund. Be used to is used to express that a situation is not new or strange, or is no longer new or strange. You have experienced it many times. For example, he is used to swimming every day. Get used to plus noun, pronoun, or gerund. Get used to is used to express that an action or situation becomes less strange or new, or becomes more comfortable. For example, staff will have to get used to a new way of working.
Modals in past: should have, could have, and would have are sometimes called modals of the last opportunity because they describe situations when we are imagining that the past was different. Before we study those terms in the past, let's review the difference between should, could, and would. The general rules is should for recommendation or advice, could for possibilities, and would for imagining results. The same general rules applies when using should have, could have, and would have for imaginary past situations. Should have. Use should have to say that a different action was recommended in the past. If you regret an argument, you can say, I shouldn't have yelled at you yesterday. I'm sorry. You can also use should have or shouldn't have to tell other people that a different action in the past would have been better. If your son fails a test, you can say, you should have studied. You shouldn't have played video games all weekend. Could have. Use could have to talk about possibilities if something have been different in the past. For example, someone who didn't go to the college can say, if I had gone to the college, I could have gotten a better job. Could have is used with if plus had plus participle. If I had gone, if she hadn't fallen. These if phrases express the imaginary past situations. However, in same case, you can use couldn't have without the if phrase. Will have. Use will have to imagine a result. If something had been different in the past. If you arrive late at the airport and miss your flight, you can say, if we have arrived earlier, we would have caught our flight.
Wish and if only. We use it to talk about things that we would like it to be different in either the present or the past. In other words, regrets. The difference is that if only is stronger than wish. For present, the structure is wish or if only plus past form. Example, I wish he lived closer. If only he was here. For past, the structure is wish or if only plus past perfect. Example, I wish I had held her tighter. If only I had listened to you about a situation or the future. Structure, wish plus could, would plus base form. Example, I wish I could pass my driving test. I wish I would be his girlfriend.
Now, in this topic, we are going to explain present perfect simple versus present perfect continuous. Well, first of all, we use present perfect simple when we want to talk about an action that is finished, permanent situations, experiences, and stuff like that. We can use stative verbs, and something important to say is that actions can be ongoing. Here are some examples. The kids have played for 2 hours. He has repaired the car. The structure in this present perfect simple is the subject plus have or has plus the verb in past participle. In the other way, we have present perfect continuous. We use it when we want to talk about actions that are unfinished, temporary situations, and here actions can be ongoing. Here are some examples. Mary has been studying for 4 hours. Tom has been painting his house. I have been working since 5 p.m. As you can see in these examples, all of these sentences, the actions haven't finished. They continue and continue. The structure of present perfect continuous is the subject plus have or has plus been and plus the verb in ing.
Reporter speech. We use reporter speech when we want to tell someone what someone say. We usually use a reporting verb and then change the tense of what was said in direct speech. In general, when it's used, the verb tense change. We have some examples. When you're speaking in direct speech in present simple, when you speak in reporter speech, you need to change the tense to past simple. We have here some examples of these changes. Now, we have some time expressions that express according to the meaning of the sentence. When you are speaking in direct speech and you say now, in reported speech, it will be then. And we have here some more examples of this rule. Now, sometimes that is used in affirmative and negative sentence to introduce what the other person has said. On the other hand, in interrogative sentence, you can use if or whether. Statements. When transforming statements, you need to change whether you have to change. Pronouns, present tense, verb, place and time expressions. For example, when you say in direct speech, I speak English, in reported speech, it will be, he said that he spoke English. Questions. With the question we have two different questions. Yes or not questions and WH questions. We often use ask plus if or whether, then change the tense as with statements in reported questions. We don't use question forms after the reporting verb. For example, in direct speech, you will say, did you have any experience working with people? But in reported speech, it will say, They asked if I had any experience working with people. Report commands and requests are formed using the to infinitive and not to infinitive. The reporting verbs for the order commands requests are order show them and word, big command, and a big quantity of these verbs. For example, when you are speaking in direct speech and you say, he said to me, open the door, in report speech it will be, he ordered me to open the door. In some times we can simply use ask me plus to and plus infinitive form of the verb.
Will you mind and do you mind? We use will you mind or do you mind to ask for something in a polite way, but will you mind is more polite. The use of will you mind or do you mind. First use. When we talk about the present or the past, we use past tenses following the subject. If plus somebody plus did plus something. For example, will you mind if I use your phone now? Do you mind if I use your pen? Second use. When we don't mention the subject, we may just use verb plus ing. For example, will you mind sending that mail for me? Do you mind washing the car for me? Third use. Somebody's plus verb plus ing. For example, will you mind my sisters coming with us to the picnic? Do you mind Belinda's using your computer?
Would prefer and would rather. Important difference between would prefer and would rather. The verb that follows would rather goes in the infinitive with to, again to the keep in your mind. The verb that follows would rather goes in the infinitive with do. On the other hand, the verb that follows would prefer can be followed by an infinitive verb with to or ein, ing. There is not much difference in between one other option.